What's up, you beautiful Redditors? Hope you're having a fantastic Tuesday. Welcome to the RNEWS evening show. And let's just jump into it. From r/politics, Trump supporters in Georgia threaten to destroy GOP, boycott runoff elections. I'm not even a guy, and this made me hard. 3D chess with 70 million pawns. Let the hate flow through you. Now strike them down, and together we can rule the universe. And strike 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 and strike. I moan just thinking about it. I'm in SHAMBLES. I'm so owned I'm hard. Burn it. I'm praying that the Trump family starts a MAGA party or some such nonsense and really fracture the GOP. I'm actually expecting just that to happen. If MAGA isn't officially a party by 2022, I'll be shocked. Funny how in 2008 to 2015 they said Obama didn't stand up to Putin enough. And how Russia should be sent back to the Stone Age for shooting down that jetliner. And never admitting to it. Please, oh please don't throw me in that briar patch. Oh yes, the power of not voting. That'll show the GOP and own the libs. I hope they do boycott the runoff elections. That'll really show them libs. You're watching the RNEWS show. From r/World News. Solomon Islands set to ban Facebook in the name of national unity. So as Reddit, some of the subs here looks like brainchild of KKK or ISIS. Those were the days before my parents guilted me until I added them, and my dad would call me to lecture me about a status or post I shared, or that I don't add this family member or that. I totally experienced at South Park Facebook episode. A comedian I once saw said that social media is like a really great party. Everyone was having a blast until your parents showed up. I always saw Facebook as a place with a bunch of people I knew but would never want to hang out with in real life. LMAO. Never thought Reddit would actually be in favor of the government banning internet websites. Frickin' hypocrites. You're watching the RNEWS show. From r/News. More than 1 million people passed through U.S. airports Friday, despite COVID warnings. According to the official government statistics, normally a little less than approximately 3 million people travel by air on average per day in the U.S. To add some context to this number, last year, about 26+ million traveled by air over the Thanksgiving holiday period. So while 1 million people traveling by air is still a significant number, it is thankfully much lower than it could be. Edit. Thank you to those who pointed out the typo in the Star Tribune article. I updated this post with a number given by the TSA because the other number people cited to point out the typo was just a projected number, not the actual amount of people who traveled. Thanks for breaking down the stats. Just bear in mind that number from 2019 is misreported. Washington, November 19, 2019. Airlines for America, A4A, the industry trade organization for the leading U.S. airlines, announced today that it expects a record 31.6 million passengers to travel aboard U.S. carriers worldwide during the 12-day Thanksgiving travel period. www.airlines.org. Girlfriend's family has 2 different households from Florida, including her elderly grandmother in assisted living, flying up to CT for Thanksgiving and staying for a week. A lot of people just don't give a crap, and it's incredibly depressing. Plus, not counting all the people traveling by car rather than flying due to restrictions and avoiding airports. You're watching the RNEWS show. From r/politics, Michael J. Fox says Donald Trump has played on every worst instinct in mankind. Biff as president. Single quote. Just finishing up the second quote now, Mr. Biden. Biff did have a successful and popular casino. Better wife choices, as well. Oh, and his penthouse was less tacky. Any business would be successful if you could predict the future. Trump would find a way to frick it up. True, he would pick the winning team. But instead of just betting all his money on them, to truly be seen as a winner, he would purchase the team, change its name to Team Trump, and inadvertently through all these actions, change the outcome of the future. Not only would he in the end lose a lot of money, but the almanac would become worthless as well. With his options dwindling, I could see him try something crazy like run for president. Yeah, the old rich version of Biff. At least even back in mid to late 80s when BTTF2 was written, plenty of people knew full well that Trump was an unsalvageable shitheel. Which is why it's so astonishing that so many people voted for this irredeemable, unsalvageable, narcissistic, mendacious, greedy frick of a shitheel. You're watching the RNEWS show. From r/politics, by Betsy, educators celebrate the end of the DeVos era. What an awful choice she was. May she one day see what a terrible person she is. I'm just so bitter about all of these awful un-American fricks who genuinely want a divided country more than a thriving and unified one. They act disgustingly, and the way the system works just panders to their anti-human bullcrap. ATER Act, not. Big donors won jobs they weren't qualified for. America, where bribery is legal. Honestly, this is beyond bribery. It's not even the head of the agency doing certain things to appease donors. It's literally giving full control each agency to the bribers directly. The CEO of AccuWeather is the head of NOAA. Verizon lawyer is head of FCC. Dude who sued the EPA 7 times as the head of the EPA. And the list goes on and on. Literally letting the highest bidder just run whatever agency they want. So much for draining the swamp. She didn't even have an experience in education administration or whatever. Why the frick did that idiot Trump choose her? It's like him choosing Carson for some role that doesn't pertain to his work history. Why the frick did that idiot Trump choose her? Because her and her Nazi mercenary brother brought their positions with boatloads of money to force. They're all white dominionist Christian, hard-right ethno-state. You're watching the RNEWS show. From r/politics, Lindsey Graham's alleged attempt to toss Georgia ballots is felony election fraud. Bill Clinton talks to Loretta Lynch at an airport equals 1 year of conspiracy theories. Trump and senators pressure election officials to overturn an election equals business as usual. Why does Lindsey Lovelace hate America and our core values? No, he loves our core values, money and power. Are we placing bets on nothing happening? This is exactly the problem. Democrats need to get off their self-righteous high horse and do something. And that's where we're going to end today's show. But if you like what you saw, leave a like, and if you want to see more of the RNEWS show, hit that subscribe button. As always, this has been the RNEWS show, and I'll see you tomorrow.